Hello, everybody. It has been a hot summer minute for alive here. So, yes, we're finally here. We're finally on live. We are still on this planet. So, yay! We're here. Let me fix this angle a little bit here. There we go. Because y'all got to see my Wonder Woman. Yes, I am full in my goddess warrior power. I had not been in my warrior power for a while. I'd been in really more of a place of relaxation and surrender and flow. And I'm still in a place of surrender and flow, but it's on. It's on right now. It's on. We're talking about boundaries today. We're talking about energy updates. We're talking about the astrological energy that's happening right now. We're going to have a card pull. So first I want to start with a moment of reflection and a moment of just saying hello, checking in, and connecting to our sacred source. So grab your vessel of water, and we're just going to say an intention over the water. My water is encoded with the word blessings. And every time we take a drink of water, then have a moment of gratitude. And so let's take a moment to have a drink while everyone's jumping on and sending collective love and peace and healing to our planet. So good. Living structured water. Little beauty water here. It's so good to see everybody. I'm really happy you're here. So we're going to start with a card pull. I'm just going to jump right out there. We're calling in our angels. We're calling in our guides. We're calling in our spirit animals, our power animals, our master teachers, asking for information for you who's showing up here, whether you're live or seeing the replay, and what needs to be shared as the most important thing through the highest timeline, through the highest frequency of love. And so I'm working with the Akashic today, and I work with channeled messages, and we've got the Queen of Forces just popped right out at the bottom of the deck. You can see she has the sun in one hand, she's got the moon in the other hand, and she is standing on the water. She is a powerful goddess. And so I want to just dig into what she has to say. I'm going to hold that. And I'll find there's my glasses. Find my glasses over here. 1 second. Yikes! Epic fail there with the camera. My glasses were caught around my tripod. All right. So, Queen of Forces. See what she has to say. Do you want to speak about the forces at all at hand, or do you want to just go right into the reading?
Just do the reading.
Okay. So she came in upright. This card shows a woman balancing the energies. Oh, there you go. Can you see it? Yeah, you can bring it over here more. Balancing the energies of the sun in one hand and the moon in the other, with a river flowing beneath her feet. The Queen of Forces represents you or a woman in your life to help bring greater force or balance to your life. She brings an unusual combination of power and peace, creativity and negativity in both her energy and in her support. Sometimes this card can represent a person in your life, either you or another, coming into a phase of great power and an ability to sustain it with wonderful results. There is a gift of grace and serene understanding when this card is upright. It also brings new roles and opportunities, careers in many of the sciences, global communication, nature, energy may now be actually available to you. The Queen of Forces could also indicate the appearance of a possible love business in a creative project who has powerful influence and connections for you or for another. Maybe someone you know or somebody new, but when this card appears, there's a tender yet powerful support. During this time, choose to support yourself as well, which is receptivity. So the solar, the yang energy, the lunar, the yin energy, and you hold that frequency. And only you yourself can direct the energy of your eternal life. So there's an Akashic force. So take a moment just to tap in and feel the Queen of Forces approach you. Take a deep breath in. Release it out. She offers all sorts of support and energy. Who is she in your life? Take another deep breath. Release it out. Tap into the inner part of you that rules the forces of the world. So I invite you to take a moment to just tap in, maybe journal a little bit about that later. And we're going to hold that hold that frequency right now through this next part of the live, but I invite you to also just tap into that energy when you have some time to meditate and really feel who she is in your life, who's coming up for you, what energy, what entity or being or archetypical energy is coming in for you today. So we're going to move into a little bit about the astrological energy. And so let's talk a little bit about what's going on right here.
Well, the biggest thing today is that Saturn went retrograde into Pisces. So it was in Pisces from March of 2023 to May of 2025. And it moved into Aries. And now it has gone retrograde back into Pisces until February. So with that energy, with Saturn and Pisces coming together, we are going to have, we're heightened intuition. It's a time to really dive into setting strong foundations for what it is that you're calling in for your future, for your path, for your business, for your life, whatever you're calling in there. It is also a time to set very clear boundaries and be sure that you're not getting caught in the illusionary aspects of setting boundaries with others and really being clear on what those boundaries are.
Okay. So how is that showing up collectively, and then how is that showing up individually?
So, I mean, collectively what's going on, I mean, it's all the same because it's the micro and the macro taking place right now. So things that you see unfolding in our reality within this world are also things that you may be experiencing within your own life, within relationships with others. You may be seeing reflections very similar, things being played out, similar storylines, if you will. So it's everything is really being exposed. We want to make sure that we just have those clear boundaries set and make sure that we're not, following some kind of cult, essentially.
Make sure we're really operating out of our own truth. And we're also operating out of a place of highest timeline.
Absolutely.
At all times. So other people might drop out of that, and that's okay. They don't have to be in your reality. And that's happening very severely right now. And so just let whatever needs to let fall away. Because ultimately, we're going to be following our own truth and our own path. And so I highly encourage you just to really, just notice if there's any triggers. And if you're not any longer a trigger mind, if you've healed those things, you're not going to be reactive. You're not going to be in a reactive state. And then you can zoom out into the space of an eagle and really circle the situation and look at that situation and say, okay, I know that I've done my part to remain in my truth in the highest frequency of love. And if that's not going to be a match for you, exit stage right. And that's okay. Cut the cord. Do a severe energetic cleanse yourself, do some smoke clearing or some smudging, cleanse your home, do whatever you need to do, but cut those cords, because right now it's so important that you don't allow others to pull you down into a lower timeline. We're literally wobbling through these timelines like you're going through the scales on a musical score. And we're going several scales up and down, and we can vibrate up here for a while, and then all of a sudden we're dropping back down, and just don't let someone pull on you. If you have people pulling on you, you're going to be, we're talking about like taking your scissors, like bonsai tree, and you're just cutting your boundaries, cutting all that off. And I literally got out the
use the
hedge clippers the other day, because I was like, I'm like, oh, heaven no, we're going to get that energy off, because that's gross.
Yeah,
we're not going to fuck around and find out. And if you want to fuck around and find out, you can watch my Valkyrie come out, because that's going to happen. And I don't need to hold my sword. I don't need to hold my shield. I have placed my sword and my shield down because I reside with the Archangel energy of Michael, and I would much rather use his sword of truth. And so I laid my sword down long ago, and we don't have to fight. We don't have to be the boots on the ground, y'all. We can rise above, and our job here is to hold the frequency. And so, yes, Malik, your rising is Pisces, yes, and Pisces sun over here with Aiylah, yes. So Pisces in the house. We're circling back. We're going retrograde. What does it mean when something goes retrograde, for those that don't really know what that means?
So it's just when a planet is in a position from the perspective of Earth that it actually appears to be moving backwards. It doesn't actually move backwards,
sit down.
But it appears that way. So we may, energetically, it's like a review. And we're having a little review of what we've been through over the last couple of years. We're tapping back into that energy. We're re-evaluating some of those things that we were shown between 2023 and 2025. And now we're getting a chance to take another little look at it and see what's really still needing to shift, what's needing to change, and we'll come back out of it with a much clearer perspective and move forward. The biggest thing is what we're reviewing here is all of these. Well, to be honest, there besides Saturn being in retrograde, there are multiple outer planets that are currently in retrograde, which has to do with the collective experience, the times that we are in, the societal shifts that are taking place. These are major evolutionary shifts happening on the planet right now. And what is being revealed is all of the stuff, all of the lies, deceit, deceptions, unclarities, disinformation, things that have been going on for so very long that are coming to the surface. Light is being shined upon them so that it is revealed, so we can get this out of our reality and actually move forward in a much clearer way.
Yeah, I want to speak to that.
Yeah, go for it.
So as the collective this is happening on the collective, which means planetary wise, political wise, socially, but then those things are also going to be happening on the individual scale. And so you'll notice that collective, it means that everybody is feeling it, because these outer planets are so far out and their cycles are so big that it encompasses most of the globe. And the inner planets move faster, and they lap around the sun faster, and so they're also more interpersonal. But right now there's a lot going on with the outer planets, that everything is resetting. Every single outer planet is coming into a new sign, and there's been major astrologers out there that have looked at that and realized that in anyone's research that we've found has never happened before, where all of the outer planets reset at once over the course of a very short period of time, considering, planets are heavenly bodies that are millions of years old. And so as far back as the data can go, they can't find a time that this is all reset together. And so we literally are in the times of the prophecy, or the times that we've waited for. And
this
is
what we came here for
yes.
those of you that know you came here for something.
Yes, and those we're here preaching to the choir, so we're here talking to y'all that get it. You're on the highest frequency, and this is who we're speaking to. So we also pulled the willow tree, the Two of Forces. This came right out, and this one is also, you can kind of see here, it really looks like the tree of life, and it's in a flowing river. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit about this card too. So I'm going to read to you from the book, from the Akashic. This is the Akashic Tarot, and I'm going to share with you about the willow. A big, beautiful willow stands in the summer sun. This stately tree is strong and flexible, and this card upright is telling you that you are too. The willow spreads its roots deep and wide, creating a strong foundation that's capable of standing up to anything. You hear that? Flexible, strong, standing up to anything. And this is exactly where we're at. Now is the time for you to stand tall and feel the support of the earth beneath your feet. Now more than ever, it is so important to earth and to ground, and to get your feet on the ground. Take off your shoes, take off your socks, get your feet on the earth, even if it's just for a few moments. This card indicates a time of calm, so enjoy the peaceful energy. It also signifies a time of power, perfect for reinforcing your foundation in your work, in your family, in your spirit, and in the depth of your belief in yourself. Just like the willow, you have peaceful strength drawn from the waters of your soul and extending through all of eternity. Stand confidently in your truth. Just I was speaking to you about the truth of Archangel Michael. This is about standing in our truth. Take the actions that support the growth of all things wonderful in your life, and know that you are powerful. So just take a moment just to ground into the energy of the earth and really take your energy deep, deep down. Place your feet flat on the ground. Drop into the earth.
Watch the sunset with the pets.
And so, see, Alexa just told us to go outside and watch the sunset with the pets. And so this is the time every single day when it's sunset or sunrise to go catch that frequency of the sun, looking at the sun and catching the rays, grounding into the earth, feeling that energy and collecting that energy and just pulling it into your being, pulling up like a tree root. You're sucking energy, nutrients, receiving, and allow yourself to be in a place of receiving, because a lot of times we forget to receive and we just go about our day, go about our week, forget to fill our cup. And so those of y'all that have followed me for a while and been on my lives before, my biggest soapbox is to practice self-love and self-care every single day. And so that's where we're at, is just pull from the waters of life. Allow that to nourish your soul, because that is source energy, and the energy comes from the earth into your being. So just continue to ground into the earth, and the only way to do that is actually feet on the earth. Breath work, yoga, get on the ground, do some movement, dance, shake, shimmy, swim. So these are all things that are super, super important right now. So anything else on our energy update before we move into the significance of this day?
I just wanted to add, it feels to me like what is taking place is that all the abusers are being exposed. And that is like small level to extreme level, right? Because sometimes an individual is not necessarily like massively abusive, but maybe there are moments when they approach maybe you're approached by somebody that their conversation is aggressive or abusive. These interactions are being exposed and being highlighted right now, and it's deep. It's deep, but it's all being exposed, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. We have some more Pisces coming on here. Monica, Rainbow Fire, Pisces Sun, and yeah, I hear you, Venus Pisces. Yes, yes. So we are in our power when these planets are moving in to support us. And those of you that really haven't really tapped into that, just realize that, you know, a lot of people believe in Wi-Fi, but they don't believe that planets have energy. You know, like, let's think about it. We are all energetic beings housed in a physical shell, here for a temporary period, maybe 100 or so years. And so everything returns back to energy. This is Einstein's theory. This is not woo-woo. This is science. And so the energy of these planets actually have an effect on our being. And so by educating ourselves on what that actually looks like, then we can actually have an educated and an informed point of view when there are major things shifting in the cosmos. And so that's kind of the perspective we're coming from here. So there's a lot of significance on this day for me personally. And on September 1st of 2015, I had a massive house fire. And that was really transformational in my life. And it was the energy of complete chaos and destruction. And then the energy of just a complete restart on every level. Because at the time, I was running my yoga studio. Excuse me. And I was running a organization called the DFW Free Day of Yoga. And my cup was not full. And I was giving and giving and giving. And my children and my family were not in the place of receiving. They were really kind of in, survival mode because I wasn't present in the way that I am now. And I was really busy doing a lot of things. And when the house fire happened, it brought me back to center where I could really figure out what was truly important in my life. And so by giving so much to a nonprofit organization, I had spent the previous almost whole decade, every single Labor Day weekend and every single Labor Day Monday, holding free yoga classes, holding and running a huge entire festival called the Dallas Yoga Festival, which was wildly successful, but it was also exhausting. And it was every single year at this time of year, up until 2015, I had done that. And on that day of September 1st of 2014, I had just finished having a whole weekend, having a huge yoga festival in Fort Worth, a huge yoga festival in Dallas, one-day festivals, and then having a schedule of free yoga classes all day long on Monday, Labor Day. And also, today is my grandmother's birthday, and she was born in 1911, and she passed the same year that my mother passed in 2008, 2 weeks before her. So today is also a very significant day in my own personal life. My grandmother was a Virgo. I'm a Virgo as well. And so this day, for that to happen on my grandmother's birthday back in 2015, was really interesting. She had been passed over 7 years that year. And I was forced to really reevaluate what my plate could hold, what was important to me, and what could be let go. And in that case, when I decided that I was going to really evaluate what was important, I really felt like my yoga studio. I had a hot yoga studio in Dallas, and I had a really beautiful tribe of people. I had a yoga teacher training that I was running out of my studio, and my membership was draining me because I had so many classes on the books every week, and they were all over from boot camps to Zumba to hot yoga to yin yoga to workshops, and I just got so tired of holding down the fort, being the only one that would show up when my teachers wouldn't show up, being the ones that would clean the studio after my teachers left because they weren't going to clean the studio because they were prima donnas, and not all of them, but some of them. And, you know, my kids were always up at the studio or, you know, going to different yoga events with me, and it was too much. So I gave up my studio. I let it go. I told my landlord I wasn't going to have a studio anymore. And I pulled back from the DFW Free Day of Yoga for that year, the next year, and really evaluated what was important. And the house fire taught me that the energy of transformation, the energy of Kali Ma, she is the goddess of transformation. She was birthed from the third eye of Durga. And she was birthed when Durga, the grand divine mother, was slaying demons. And she was slaying demons and slaying demons. And every time she would slay a demon and a drop of blood would land on the ground, 1,000 more demons would spawn from the drop of blood. And she finally had enough and just threw a rebel yell and I can only imagine the scream that she let out. Through her third eye, she birthed Kali Ma, and Kali Ma came out just, you know, and holding all these weapons and all these symbols in her arms with a skull necklace. And she just took everything by storm and just annihilated all of the darkness. And Kali Ma signifies the stoppage of time. She is timelessness itself. And I literally just sent out a newsletter today, one of my vlogs, about timelessness. And feel free to grab that link in my bio or in my link tree to sign up for that. And it's really about the energy of complete rebirth. Chaos, death, it's ugly. It's not, there's nothing pretty about someone crossing or a passing of a loved one, or even a loss of a friendship, or a loss of, you know, the shifts that are happening on the collective, you know, the horrific things that are happening across the planet. And we are not downplaying this whatsoever. But what is happening is things are being annihilated so that through that destruction, through that, the goddess will rise, the ivy will grow, the seeds will sprout from the tiny pores, and all of the death that has happened, that decay will be transmuted back. And hopefully in our lifetime, if we all hold the frequency of love. But if we do not, we can all go down, and I guarantee you, Pachamama, she will rise. Her planet will be perfectly sound. It may take 20 million years, but she will return. The goddess will return, and Shakti Ma will return, and she will take it back over. However, we can speed up that timeline, and we can work with Kali Ma and realize that things that are ugly and things that are horrific and things that are gross and things that are terrible cannot be judged, because on the other side of that, we are in a timeline and in a reality where we're in a duality. And the darker that dark gets, then the brighter that light gets. And you get to choose to be that light. You get to choose which side of the coin that you're going to operate on. You get to choose which timeline of those octaves that you're going to reside on. And are you going to let all that stuff pull on you? All the stuff on social media, all the stuff on the news. God forbid you're watching something like that. All that stuff that's, you know, spamming you on your feed. Cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. You know, your algorithm is simply just an energetic reflection of you. Everything is simply an energetic reflection of you. You are simply a mirror. And the social media algorithm is no different. So whatever's populating on that is literally the law of attraction. Cut it out. Cut it out. Not interested. Not interested. Don't show me this again. I don't want to see that bullshit. I don't even have that shit on my feed, y'all. I have all y'all who I love because I love seeing your posts. I love seeing your energy. I love learning about what is going on in your life. But all that other stuff that's, trying to suck on your energy, cut it out. And the social media thing is only one example. But in so many realms of your life, you have to cut all those things out so that there is a beautiful space of blank slate for the goddess to rise. And she will grow from that space of destruction and decay, because that becomes organic compost. And that's where the seeds nurture, and they stay in that womb space. And they stay in that dark place. And when I had my house fire, I was in a very dark place. And it took a whole entire womb cycle. From the time of the house fire, 9/1, my house was back built, and it was my dream house. And that was on March, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So by March and April, everything was back online. So that was one womb cycle, it was a birth cycle. And I got to build my dream house, and I got to build the dream house on the insurance money. And everything that was destroyed got to be turned over, and all of that was reimbursed due to some really dear friends that did a massive inventory of my house and everything that was destroyed. And that was reinvested in my house, and I was able to rebuild. And through all of that, during all that whole entire cycle, my father got very ill and he passed. And so through all of that, I also walked my father home. And on the other side of that, I found my passion, I found my purpose, I found my why, and I started holding inner goddess retreats. I built a studio on my land that had hot yoga, and we did Reiki trainings and inner goddess retreats, and we held really amazing shamanic workshops and ceremonies with different beautiful plant teachers. And I was able to not only have a studio and a house, but everything was upgraded. So just know that as horrific and sad that things look right now, we are projecting all of those projections that have happened over the last 12,000 years. And we just entered into a new era. In March, we just finished the Kali Yuga. The Kali Yuga, Kali Ma was ruling that Yuga, that 12,000 year cycle. And now we are in that next cycle of the Aquarian age. We literally gained a whole entire different perspective, but we're still living in the projections of all of that. And so just remember that all of those projections that have happened over those last 12,000 years are still playing out. They're fizzling out. They're fizzling out. They're fizzling out. And it's up to us to hold the vision and hold the frequency of what we do want to see, because that is the reality. Time is simply an illusion. It just takes a moment to catch up. But holding that in your vision and holding that in your mind's eye of what you know that this earth looks like, what you know that it has looked like before in other civilizations. And for those of you that remember your past lives, we know that we've done this before, but we haven't gotten this far before. And so we are in uncharted territory. So our job here is to hold the frequency, to stay on point, to not let anything suck down your energy and pull you down into a spiral, no matter how beautiful it looks and what kind of crown it's wearing. You can polish a turd, but it's still going to be a fucking turd. It can be covered with whipped cream and sprinkles, and it look like an ice cream sundae. But when you get down to it, it is still shit. And so clean that shit up out of your life. And I'm telling you right now, that is the truth. And this is what I've come here to tell you today. I was going to tell you some other stuff, but no, I'm not going to tell you some other stuff today. I'm going to ask if you want to give any feedback to any of that. from your perspective.
Like you just said it all.
I'm going to be coming on live every single day. And that is from now until my solar return on my birthday. And so I will be here to share with you the truth that's coming through. Because that is the only reason that I stand here right now. It is not me. This is the truth coming through me. And for those of you that are catching this frequency, it's because you're on the frequency of truth and justice and harmony and love. And so it is our job, as these videos that seem glitching, we may glitch out. You can find me on Telegram. You can find me other places. I'm going to drop that link in my link tree as well, the Telegram link. We have a WhatsApp group as well for women here in Austin. I love y'all too. Thank you so much for your comments. I see y'all jumping in there if you want to shout out to any of the comments that are coming through. And I want to give you this energy update because we are in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Our ancestors are all here supporting us. Those that didn't have voices, those that couldn't share, those that didn't have the ability to stand in their power, those that had a different color skin or that were the wrong gender that couldn't have a voice. We are here to speak that truth because we are standing in that frequency right now where we have a platform. Use it. These platforms aren't going to be around forever. So it's up to us to use them for good and for use them for the right thing. And yeah, as the frequency is glitching, I see it. I see y'all. But you know what? We love these platforms because they're here for us, and they're here for us to come together as humans, as soul tribe, as soul family. We'd love for you to join our Global Soul Family Facebook group. You can grab that link in our link tree as well. It should be in a pinned comment that y'all can grab. Also, we have a couple upcoming events. If you've been here this long, I want to invite you. I have my digital nomad training, and I'm extending that out through my birthday, which is the 14th. And just because of life, I'm going to go ahead and offer that extension. We also have our Egyptian Mystery School, and we only have a couple seats left in that. And that is a really deep dive path, priestess and priest path for men and women that are on this path of the highest timeline and really want to learn from the ancient teachings as they're coming through the modern times, and how we can apply that to our life and use those teachings for the highest timeline and for our own personal growth as well as for the collective growth of the family. And in that, you also get all of the courses that we have on our Yoga for Love online training programs. 200-hour yoga teacher training, 500-hour yoga teacher training, shamanic practitioner training, Reiki training, and the digital nomad training. You can take any of those courses over the next 2 years when you join the Egyptian Mystery School. That is interview only, so you must book a discovery chat. The link is in my pinned comment as well for that. And then upcoming events, if you're in Austin, we have a Red Tent Women's Gathering coming up the day before my birthday, celebrating the fall equinox. We also have our Inner Goddess Retreat, Priestess Path for Yoni owners, and that is the first weekend of October here in East Austin on 7 acres of land here in a beautiful forest. And we have a pool and a pool house, a hot tub, a beautiful Mad Hatter's lawn with a pergola for ecstatic dance, which she will be DJing. We'll be offering lots of really beautiful things. The link is in the pinned comment for that. That is also interview only. We're not just taking people off the street to the retreats. We do screen people. So we want to talk to you and meet you. And then we have our Village Market Fair at Casa de Luz through the Lighthouse Holistic Co-op, which is our nonprofit. We just had our first meeting as our pre-board of directors meeting, and we'll be doing a Village Market Fair on November 15th, the weekend before the Thanksgiving weekend. And so you'll see more about that. That is just a little inkling. I haven't put anything out there on that yet, but we will be putting that out there soon. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow my channels here, and if you want to go deeper and jump into some of our off-platform links, just hit me up in a DM. And we have some masterclasses coming up that you can sign up as well for the freedom lifestyle and how to get paid to be yourself. So I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side. Thank you so much for all your comments. We do read them all, and we will read them after we finish here and comment back to each and every one of you that have a question or have anything to say. We'd love to connect. So anything else that you'd like to share as we wrap up?
Just peace and blessings and loads of love to each and every one of you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. See you tomorrow. Namaste. And